mechanical engineer, lecturer in National Technical University of Athens. In parallel, I have been involved in Greek Women's Engineering Association. I would like to share my thoughts about the gender perspective in energy issues. When it comes to women and energy, there is a debate. Men usually accuse women to be wasteful. An example is the case of the central heating settings and room temperature. Women, on the other hand, notice that men drive big cars which consume a lot of fuel in city roads. These are two rather simplified examples of gender perspective in energy issues. Gender perspective does exist in energy problems and energy solutions, but is not limited to the classical characteristic of the gender. The gender perspective for me includes the ability of technocrats and stakeholders to design and implement policies taking into account not only the needs, the perceptions and the preferences of the so-called typical consumer or typical citizen. Last years, engineers admit that different needs depend on the different social groups of people concerning a variety of subjects. This also happens with energy issues. An example could be night lights in the neighborhoods and the city centers. At the beginning, this problem was mentioned as a need of women only, due to risks in dark places. Nowadays, it is easy to admit that not only women could be in danger in dark streets. This occurs with a lot of similar subjects. A designer, an engineer or a stakeholder who has the ability to think in a spherical way and take into account different users will result to more efficient solutions and policies that will be accepted and adopted by a larger part of the society. Fortunately, technology evolution offers us a lot of saving energy applications and green energy solutions which respond simultaneously to the needs and requirements of a large part of the society. We can mention that the lights automation, which limit operation when a person enters the place, or the LED lamps, which consume far less energy, or even the photovoltaic panels, which produce energy without cost and harm of the environment. So the concept is to pick the needs of all the parts of society and implement the corresponding solution. This is the modern expertise and the social requirement. Having an inclusive view, I do not limit it to gender, but it's essential according to the research data. The social benefit will be multiplied. As far as it concerns the promotion of energy saving and green energy solutions, it will be quite clever to think again out of the box and address the message to a larger audience, not excluding women or any other group. It was common that advertisements referred to men as the ones who take the decisions for family investments such as car, refrigerator, heating system, etc. Now, women are in charge to take a decision in the families or if they are single. I am not in favor of flattering women using advertisements addressing to them as the ones who take the decision for the house equipment or buy the pretty electrical car. I would prefer instead that the industries, technocrats and stakeholders are addressing sincerely to all social groups and present them all the sides of their products, proposals and solutions, the negative and the positive impact. Most of the times there could be a short-term negative impact, mainly economical, and the state and local authorities have to recognize it and search for the right implementation and support measures. Women seem to be more sensitive to natural protection and they like the environment-friendly solutions. On the other hand, there is shortage of women in the technical sector, so in some cases they lack the technology background and their selection could not take into account the technical evolution. This happens to all social groups that are not familiar with new technologies, or they just use some gadgets, but the very next moment they make a selection that has the opposite result. There is always the danger of prejudices and simplified justification which could lead a nature-sensitive person to be against long-term positive solutions like wind generators, waste treatment plants, etc. In Greece, people do not have plenty trust to authorities due to unsuccessful implementations, so it is justified for several groups to be suspicious. Women have already gained a significant role in the families and society in Greece. So their decision and their selections count and they will take the positive ones if they have clear information and the necessary economical support. For closing, I would like to conclude that there is gender perspective in energy issues, and it is positive that it is object of research, studies, and discussions. It is essential to take into account for designing solutions and policies. It would be also effective to address openly these diversities and try to explain them to the different social groups. Having in mind the gender perspective, the solutions and their promotion will follow a holistic approach and influence larger part of the society. Women in technical sector with the support of social scientists could be the ambassadors to the social groups which lack the background on energy issues, explaining the advantages and disadvantages of each available solution for the short term and the long term. When these advantages are not explained in advance, there is high possibility of refusal even on crucial issues for the environment.